culture, one of the things in working on the Palestine issue in the last 18 months, I mean, I've done it for 50 years, but I realized I never dove as deeply as this has forced me to do. The first thing the Zionists did was take over culture. The first thing they did was hire novelists to write books that would change people around this. So that we understand that U.S. activists, and they're like, oh, we need to stop the war in Palestine. Like, they've been building this war for 100 years with probably $1 trillion invested in weapons and changing your mind and taking over the structures of your mind. I mean, they're all owned by Zionists. The entire, except for maybe 33 members and a 500 and some odd member Congress in the United States are owned by Israel, a foreign government. And then they want to tell me I'm owned by a foreign government that I've never taken money from anyone. Like, they don't even understand what passion is. They don't understand what the passion for humanity is. Like Dana's saying, I need to share my voice. What is that? Is that we recognize suffering. When we recognize the abuse of power, we want to use our voices to take care of each other. Right. They don't understand that. And so, yes, culture is so important. And, Dana comes from a hub, a rich hub of culture that is music that, you got to bring. I would love to hear, like, what was that to bring hip hop to China?
What an incredible, I should talk about it more. I don't. But I'm almost speechless because I've connected to so many people, so many stories, all different walks of life, all different ethnicities, all different classes, and we have this bond and love. It's exactly what you're talking about, this peace economy, through hip hop, and we do not all agree. It's a complete spectrum. Here in China, complete spectrum of views. I can't even call it left and right. It's on a completely different paradigm. Views that people in the West don't even know about. And this music brings us together, and it's a safe space. I've been able to take artists from China to the United States and artists from the United States to China and build these bridges and make these connections. And, in light of like the politics, there's just amazing things that happen. You can look at something like that's so institutionalized, like the National Basketball Association of America, connected with the Council on Foreign Policy. It does have a political agenda. It wants to control the narrative. But the basketball players become these ambassadors and make these connections with different community, and they go on and do their own independent things. With music, it's the same thing as well. You have people that are in the industry that's controlled by people that have political objectives, and they try to control the narrative, and yet they still find ways to break through. And I think of two guys, Kyrie Irving and Kanye West, and two different sides of they're really far apart in my view, like where they are right now, the kind of energy that they put out. But they both were embraced in China and found a way to transcend, different forms of censorship. Kanye, I don't agree with a lot of his approach, the way he's going right now. It's not my cup of tea. But his connection with China extends all the way back to his childhood. It's a very organic experience. He was here with his mom, who was a teacher as a kid. I bumped into him a couple of times. Some of my friends have brought him over. He's already done 2 concerts back in the day. That first one was like 2005, 2008. He's been coming to China, and he has this organic connection that people kind of follow his career, built his following. And when he came to Hainan just this past year, it was a really big moment because he's completely isolated and censored and blacklisted. Yet he was able to come to China and connect with people on something complete. Like most people don't know the story, is that people in China were suffering. There was a hurricane that hit Hainan and was devastating. And so one of the things that is popular is this kind of like patriotic tourism, and that the young people know, all right, if this place is hurting, we're all going to go there. We're going to fly there. We're going to spend our money there to boost the economy and show support. So Kanye comes, does a concert right at that time. And so he sells out 2 concerts in China.
In seconds.
Yeah. Like, I think the first one was 40,000. Second one, he did like 20,000, 60,000 people. But even the tourist bureau, announced like how many trillions of renminbi was that boosted the economy, and that was through the power of hip hop. Kyrie is another example, someone who honestly was not trying to do anything political, but he got just because like a post on his social media, someone didn't like a documentary, he got blacklisted, he got attacked, he lost his endorsement, he was vilified. And anyone knows that Kyrie Irving is the most loving, caring soul on the planet. And being put in that situation, he came to China. They gave him a better shoe deal. Nike dropped him, abandoned him. He got a shoe deal here, and he's beloved. People came out the airport and embraced him. James Harden, a basketball player, loved in China. At my university, Michigan State University, there was a school shooting, and a Chinese student got shot and hospitalized, survived. A tragic incident. James Harden, he found out that this Chinese student was a huge Harden fan, so he invited him to the basketball game to watch Harden play. He did incredible. Harden scored like whatever 40 points. It was amazing. Gave the kid a jersey, but people in China really felt that and appreciated that.
Yeah.
And of course, when Harden comes to China, he's
Celebrated.
loved. He's celebrated.
Yeah.
And so these people-to-people connections, these genuine connections, they matter a lot when you have, irresponsible leadership that is pushing us towards war and damaging these relationships, and trying to keep our communities divided. China's not doing that. Right now, China is welcoming everyone to come see for yourself. Build, connect, fly here, visa free. You want to go to school, scholarships. We need to take advantage of these opportunities and keep these communities interlocked and don't be divided. It's the last point I'll add on is just like some of the statistics. At one point, I don't know the peak, how many Americans, maybe 50, 60,000 Americans at one point. And I'm hearing now that there's only like 10,000. I don't even know if that's right. 10,000. And the students used to be, 10, 15,000. Now there's less than 1,000. So, they're trying to keep the Chinese students from going to America.
Yeah.
We can't allow this to take place. We have to keep these bridges so that we can have access to the truth and we can tell the true stories of what's really going on and let these people control the narrative.